and I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know if there is an answer, that other people are left fall through the cracks. Does that make sense? Kind of what I'm...
So, like, it's harder to get people the help that they need?
In some cases, the people who either don't realize that they need help, who, like, don't have any insight into their mental illness.
Anosognosia.
Or, yes.
What word is that?
He loves to use that word.
What word?
Where people, lack insight.
Yeah, it's anosognosia. It's like the you can't... It's like, very fine. Anosognosia.
What word is that?
It means, like, you don't know, like, your illness, like, is telling you you're not sick.
Yeah.
Like, schizophrenic people, like, they don't, like, the voices tell you, yeah, you don't need those pills. You're good. Everybody else is crazy.
Their inner dialogue is like,
lack of insight.
Awesome.
Yeah. So those are the hardest people to get treatment because they don't realize that they need it. But they don't necessarily meet criteria to Baker Act them. Not that that's the best thing to do, but some cases that is the best thing to do. But we have a lot of those people, they're not a risk to themselves or other, they're not trying to harm anybody, but they really need treatment.
They can't
but they can't get
society.
it. And then they don't have, and then they don't have a support system, many of them, to guide them through that process. So that, to me, like, personally, that's what really...
Yeah, what do you do with those people? Because it's like
your hands
what
are
do you
tied
do?
in a lot of cases.
Unless they commit a felony or something.
All the resources that we have and see who's got the one, like... So, for instance, like, I have a lady who has severe mental illness, but she's also older, so it could be some dementia too. And then on top of that, when you have somebody who has mental illness and two patrol officers appear to be just, making things up, or it's not factual, but if you look at the big picture, they're kind of the perfect victim for people who know this and can take advantage of it. But then if the person who's victimizing them isn't the caregiver, DCF can't investigate it because there's no responsibility. But if she's not stable enough to give us, if somebody says, hey, people are taking money out of my account, they give us screenshots of their account. If they're not able to do that, we don't have anything to go base off of criminal to help protect this lady. And so for months and probably years, she's fallen through the cracks of people taking advantage of her and officers just coming and saying, oh, she's just a mentally ill person. Nobody took her ID. But really, if she doesn't have her ID, she can't go to these medical appointments to get her medications. And the people that are taking advantage of her know that. So being able to use the paramedicine group, we were able to combine resources, and they just texted me yesterday and said they got her into an assisted living facility. So now she won't be taken advantage by these people anymore. She will have people who are going to care for her, and if something does happen, then we have somebody that DCF can investigate for taking advantage of her. And so
good job.
It's hard when people fall through the cracks, but our team is able to check in with these people constantly and take the time to not just look at the one call that she called in, but be able to look over months of her saying, this started when my husband went to jail, and me figuring out when he went to jail. And, okay, at this point, this is when the call started, and this is what they were saying, and these are accurate. How do I prove this? And if I can't prove it, how do we still get her help to get her out of this position?
How frequently are you dealing with calls, rough estimate, where it's not a Baker Act, there's not a chargeable offense, it's not, it's like this, you're just there to help, connect resources?
Most of our calls.
Those are most of them.
We actually have you ever seen our data report?
The thing with all the infographics?
Yeah.
Pretty.
How long ago did
that Meridian does?
Yeah.
That we
well,
You're like, excuse me.
We all do.
We do
It's a collective effort.
The ones that I've seen is it's y'all and it's ASO.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And it's this is how many people were diverted.
Yeah, so, no, I don't like the side-by-side one. But we do a monthly one, a quarterly one, we combine our teams. And that information would be on it. just doing the math of however many calls we responded to, and then however many resulted in a Baker Act, or how many were diverted.
Is that public?
And then I mean, yeah.
There's no like personal
There's-
information
no,
on it.
yeah.
So.
That's easy to pull? That would be really helpful to
I mean,
see
yeah,
the
I would just
demand
send,
for
I
your
just
services.
send it to you, basically. But yeah, I'll just pull one up really quick.
Well, then, if you, with the wisdom that you all have in this kind of role, if you were going to, you knew an agency was going to start these types of roles, what are some of the things that you'd be like, oh, make sure, you do this, or I wish we had the ability to do this, this would be great.
Like, you talking about to start a co-responder team?
Yeah, like if you had a magic wand, right, and you could really make it the way you think would be best.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I actually have a whole PowerPoint on that.
Well, girlfriend.
But
And, well, before she gets to the PowerPoint or whatever, I would say, like, I was going to mention this to you in the other room. If you come across agencies that are wanting to do that, like, we're more than willing to talk with them, work with them. They can come and we can coordinate ride-alongs. I mean, like, no need to reinvent the wheel. Like,
Exactly.
not that we are doing it perfectly or anything like that, but we're 4 years into it as a whole, so we have a lot of stuff that has worked for us or didn't work for us that we can share that information with the people to help them.
yeah, we do that fairly. Like, we're gonna go next month to speak to a sheriff's office in like Brevard or something, because they're wanting to
Nice.
get theirs up and coming. So we're kind of used to doing that, and not to like brag or whatever, but it's because we weren't in the state of Florida, there weren't a lot of teams like ours. So all the nearby areas have come to ours to ask the questions and everything. So, and I didn't
Kind of a big
actually
deal.
start the team, so I can't
We're
even
good.
claim that.
I'd say a
So
big thing is knowing the resources that are available in your community and having contacts to them.
How did you learn them?
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. Our community has a lot of resources,
Google or?
but our area has a lot of resources that a lot of
Yes.
areas don't.
Yes.
That's one of the big successes here. We have a VA. We have 2 colleges, mainly Santa Fe. We have the crisis center. We have a lot of resources here.
But if you respond to somebody who's potentially homeless or just here temporarily, and some of these resources that are locally based, how does that interfere? You're like, well, this person is only here for...
This is a destination for people, unfortunately.
I've heard, yeah.
Because of Grace Marketplace, like, people come here from all over the whole country because it's sold as a destination. People were
Bus tickets here,
people
yeah.
are released from other like mental health treatment places, and they're shown pictures of, look, this is Grace Marketplace. You can go here, or you can go back with your parents, and they choose here. So then they bust or ship them here.
Can you imagine?
A lot of times, too,
Yeah.
it's other law enforcement agencies that say,
Yeah.
hey, if you go to another state, your warrant won't be extraditable. So they know if they come here, we can't arrest them for their warrant that they have in Tennessee to send them back to Tennessee. So they encourage them, and they say, and they have this great homeless outreach program, which we do.
You can
but
get all the
problem
help
is
you need in one place.
we had a homeless outreach program that was built for the capacity of Gainesville's homeless community, and now we're serving the nation's homeless community. And so the people who need it, and those are the ones that we're not able to Baker Act. They don't, have any charges, but they're not capable of living by themselves, and they don't have any family left to help take care of them, and so now they're stuck on the street. But Joe from Tennessee comes here, and he knows how to smooth talk himself into getting a house placement, which now takes from Jenny over here, who can't advocate for herself. And so that's where our resources
Wow.
end up failing, because we're servicing a nation instead of a city's population.
Yeah.
Let's do it for Jenny.
Here we go,
All the
Jenny.
Jennies.
I've taken so much of your time. I'm so appreciative. I did not even have time to get the clinician perspective. That's why I was emailing y'all, and I was like, I need to speak to y'all too. Because it's just anytime I start on these questions, it's like, ooh, pull this thread, pull this thread, pull this thread.